I've taught you much, my little droogies. Now tell me what you had in mind, Georgie boy.
Hello, my droogies. This is Podcast Orange, episode 2. I'm your host, Tom Crescenzo, and to my virtual left is my co-host, Jack Siegel. How's it hanging, my man?
How's it hanging? It's all right. I feel good. I got my
Hell yeah.
Stella Artois, got my General Chow's. I'm feeling all right.
Asian, though? Chinese food in a time like this?
Yeah, it's controversial. Actually, the Chinese place that I went to had a lot of people there. They were doing great business. I guess
Yeah,
everybody.
most of them were on ventilators, but they were good.
But they're fine anyway. Yeah, there was just like a line out the door. It was, it's like, okay.
Could you imagine if you had the coronavirus and you had to try to eat like sweet and sour pork? It'd probably be impossible.
Oh God, yeah. Well, all
You
that
try to, like-
fattiness to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. Is that like I had General Chow's tonight, and eating halfway through, you just feel like a piece of shit because it's just so filling and just so much cholesterol, and you just feel like feel bloated.
Yeah.
And
And you also are a piece of shit, so that doesn't help.
it goes together. I mean, that's the thing. Everybody always says like, oh, an hour after you eat Chinese food, you feel like you have to eat again, but I feel the exact opposite. I feel like I never want to eat again after I eat Chinese food.
See, for me, it's different. After I eat Chinese food, it's not that I have to eat again an hour later. It's just that the next time I eat, the only thing I want to eat is like a cat or a dog. You know what I mean?
Well,
It just changes the taste buds.
Cat soup,
It's like shark fin soup.
Yeah. People love to just cut off the fins of those sharks.
Yeah, they just love to literally it's like if you were just walking down the street and then some like unknown force grabbed you, sliced off your arms and legs, and just literally you're like screaming, you're like, fuck no, my legs. And then they just put you back. Like they just put you down on a park bench and they're like, yeah, you're good.
I like human arm salad. So I don't like the other parts of the human, just the arms. I just leave their body.
I like middle finger Cheerios personally. Just making different like food products out of body parts, like
penis soup.
Anybody want wieners? They're literally wieners, like literally, they're actual human penises, but I'm calling them wieners.
You're not even on Fear Factor, and we're just eating dicks.
Yeah, no, you're just behind a Home Depot waiting for the food truck, eating literal human penises severed and put into hot dog buns.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think we had I've gotten varied responses, speaking of the devil, of people saying that we talked too much about sucking dick last episode. And,
my
friend Manny said that we didn't talk enough about it. That's just because he's fixated.
I mean, I personally think if people want to get in the way of me enjoying my passions, then they can go fuck themselves. You know what I mean? I have things that I believe in that I believe need to be said, and dick sucking is by far like a strong suit of my belief system.
Well,
you can call it a centerpiece. Yeah, you can call it a centerpiece of my theology. I mean, how am I supposed to throw that away?
We just talk about what we love.
Yeah, we talk about what makes us feel human.
And speaking of feeling human, Tom, there's a nice segue, by the way, by my part. It was our good friend Tom's birthday last week.
Woo! Yeah, me. Thank you. Thank you.
25.
I am 24 years old.
24.
But yeah, I tweeted that like since the entire year of 2020 is basically fucked, I might as well be 25 at this point.
I thought you were 25, huh?
No, I'm 24.
Okay.
As of 2 days ago, I'm 24 years old. I already want to kill myself.
No, 25. 24 is fine. 25, that's a shitty birthday, man.
Like, I'm not saying that 25 isn't worse, but people will say 24 is fine, and it's like, is it though? I don't know if it's fine. Like,
I personally hated my 25th birthday because that was like, I experienced what like a midlife crisis is, but it was like a quarter life crisis. I turned 25, and I was just like, fuck, like I haven't done anything with my life, and that was like a shitty thing.
You're like, I'm already a quarter way through my life, and I've only been jerking off for 6 years.
Yeah, exactly. I had to catch up later on.
Yeah.
Um, and 25, yeah, no, 25 is a shitty birthday. I don't know.
I'm
I hope my
sure.
birthday's better. What did you do for your birthday?
I mean, I was quarantined, so I basically just got drunk as fuck and high as shit at
Oh,
my house. Like,
your parents get a cake or anything?
yeah, my family like made me a cake and stuff, and they
What
gave
kind of
me like
cake?
cards or whatever. We still did like a happy birthday, like gay little celebration, but
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we, at this point, like I was just like, I just kind of want to treat this like any other day.
You're just sitting there pouting. I don't
Yeah,
care about my birthday.
my birthday's ruined.
Fucking
If my
quarantine.
birthday has to be ruined, then everyone in the room's day is ruined.
Yeah. They're just like like one of those people that goes out and has like a bad time, so they just want to make everybody else feel shitty too.
Exactly.
I'm
Like,
not happy, you're not happy. Birthdays are
I'm
fun
not
though.
happy.
I love
Nobody.
birthdays generally. I think they're my favorite holiday because it's the one day where you just focus on yourself and you don't have to. You can just be selfish and not care about anybody else,
Right.
and
It's
nobody
like
will give
your
you
own.
shit.
It's like your own personal Christmas.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. No, you can literally be like, I don't give a fuck about you, and somebody be like, well, it's your birthday. You do what you want.
yeah,
You don't have to
it's
care.
crazy. The shit that you can get away with just because it's like the day you were born is nuts. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm at work the other day and it was busy as fuck. And I was just like, I knew it was busy as shit, and I knew that if I left early, that it would be a huge problem for my manager. But I just went up to her and I was just like, "Hey, can I leave early since it's my birthday?" And she's like, "Yeah, fine." And I'm like, "Cool, see you later, bitch."
Yeah, because it's like if she says no, then she's the asshole. It becomes like you have an immense amount of power on your birthday where you can just
Yeah,
do what you want. You can just be a dick. You can get
literally.
just shit faced drunk and just throw up everywhere and just
You
people will
could
be like,
go
"Well,
you could go to a restaurant, and even as a full-grown adult, you can literally tell them, "It's my birthday. I
you
want
have
you
to do
guys to sing
something."
a song for me." And they have to fucking do it. They have to get together and sing for you. And then you can literally just like while they're like mid-song, you could just take a sip of your drink and then just like
Toss it in their
spill it
face.
right on their faces. Yeah, just like throw it at them. Be like, "That fucking song sucked. It's my birthday and that's the shit you give me? That's what you expect me to take home as a good birthday song? You
Or
pieces of
actually,
dog shit."
you could even just stop them halfway through and be like, that was off key, start again. And just
Yeah,
have them
right.
sing over and over again until, like, just be like the guy in Whiplash. Just be like, it's not my tempo. And just have them over and over again. Just like
You could literally just get like a
Miss Snyder.
conductor's wand. You could just be like the guy from fucking that movie Whiplash and be like, "My tempo,
Yeah.
or you're out."
Throw a chair at them.
I'm
Just
literally
like
just like
rushing or dragging.
I'm like tapping two forks together over and over, just like this fast, this fast.
Slap them in the face. We're like rushing or dragging now.
Pick up like a raw salmon and just backhand them with it.
Remember when you were younger and you go to a restaurant? Did you ever do this where you just tell people like it's your friend's birthday and it wasn't, and then they just have to fucking like sing happy
I
birthday
never
as a
did that
prank?
myself.
Uh,
I've never done that myself, but it seems like it would be hysterical to do.
it was funny when you were like 16 and your friends were like, well, "It's not my birthday," and then like these waiters that are making minimum wage just go out and be like, "All right, happy birthday." It's like, "Ha, the joke's on you. It's not really his birthday, but you're still singing, you fucking asshole.
Yeah,
Get a
right.
better get a better profession." That's when you learn to be classist, is when you're a teenager.
Dude, it's funny because it's like that prank. It's like it's framed as though it's like a prank on your friend who it isn't actually his birthday, but really you're just pranking these poor fucking like
Waiters.
fucking working to the bone waiters and waitresses. You're just cracking these people who literally have to work on tips to support their children,
Yeah,
and they're just walking over like ready to do their job right because you told them it was someone's birthday, and then you get to just be like, "It's not," and laugh at them.
also you're exploiting the fact that they want to do something nice for you. It's like the whole idea is they want to celebrate your birthday and treat you well, and you're just like taking advantage of that and like
Yeah,
making
right.
it a fucking prank on them just to be
They
a
don't even
dick.
want to.
Yeah,
You're actually taking advantage of something they have to do because their boss told them. So you're literally
care about your
taking
birthday.
advantage of like a necessary function of their job for your amusement, so that you can get a giggle, and then they could go home and pop that next Valium and wonder if maybe they should end it. Like,
Should tonight be the night? Maybe. Well, it's different when you go
oh
to a Mexican restaurant and not only do they sing happy birthday, but they get like the fucking mariachi band and and they do that whole fucking song and dance. And then
yeah, and
they
then the
put on like a
MS-13
sombrero
comes out.
and they just
And then the MS-13
murder
comes out and
you.
they cut you.
It's like, wow, this is really authentic.
Yeah, like, wow, this is so Latin American.
This
You're
is
just getting
so
like stabbed to
realistic.
death. You're just getting stabbed to death in a circle. You're like, I can't believe the aesthetic of this place.
You got me your own personal gang, my own personal gangster mob. Thanks.
Oh, and they're raping my wife too. This is the best birthday ever.
Oh man. Um, and meanwhile, some kid just like has a sombrero and he's ordering the fajitas. I'm like, Mom, I'm a little scared.
Yeah, like, mommy, are you okay? She's like, just don't look, sweetie. This is for daddy.
This is his special day.
This is his birthday. This is where he always wants to go every year for some reason.
He wanted to get
Just let him have
murked.
it.
He wanted to get murked on his birthday.
they're literally like they're literally like cutting the words MS-13 into your back. You're like, this is fucking amazing.
Machete, like, oh my god.
I'm
Why's
coming
your
back here every year for the rest of my life. And then his wife is just like, oh my god, no.
5 stars on Yelp?
Buy a 5-star Yelp review, like the best service I've ever received. Absolutely top notch, amazing.
They really stabbed me. I mean, I was a bus boy and I had to sing happy birthday. I wasn't even a waiter, but they're like, everybody has to come out and fucking, ugh. You know.
See,
Anyway,
happy birthday is like, it's weird because when you sing, even if you're singing it for a family member, it's like you go to sing it and there's no like nobody if you sing it well, it makes you seem weird, you know? Like if
yeah.
you actually sing happy birthday like the right way, like
Happy
it almost sounds
birthday.
more acceptable to just be like happy birthday.
Yeah. Most people don't do
I
like the
think
whole Marilyn Monroe thing where they just go like, happy birthday, and just make it all like sensual for
yeah.
their loved ones that they're cheating on.
Like I would personally like it if us excluding my immediate family, if anyone in my life wants to plan a surprise party for the future for me, just say happy birthday. Please don't sing to me. I do not need your song. Like all I need is the cake and the envelopes that have money that you're giving me.
Just get to the presents. I don't mind.
Yeah,
I
just get to
want
the
more song. I want them to get like a real singer to come down and like get
You know what I
fucking
want them to
Paul
give me?
McCartney out of retirement and sing
I'll,
happy birthday.
I'll tell them what I'll tell you what I want them to give me. I want them to give me 5 prepaid OnlyFans subscriptions to like the hottest girls I know.
God,
Like that's what I'm
OnlyFans.
that's what I want.
Yo, let's talk about OnlyFans. That
Yeah.
that is a fucking
Now that's what you call a segue.
that was smooth. We're getting
That
better at
was a
this. This is like second
yeah.
episode. We're really like getting
Yeah,
the
episode
kick
2.
down.
We're already on segues. I mean,
Ooh,
who knows? We might even have sound effects soon.
ooh, if we can be as good as Greg Opie Hughes.
Oh,
Um,
if only we could be as great as the legendary Greg Opie Hughes.
Legendary Opie. But OnlyFans, I actually just learned about this recently, and for those of you who don't know, because I guess there are some people that don't know,
I mean, maybe.
OnlyFans is a website where women and sometimes men, I guess, sell pictures of themselves, but it's mostly used for nudity and pornographic reasons, and then people buy naked photos of people online, and it's really
This is the
spiked during this
this is the
quarantine.
expert speaking.
Yes, exactly. I've got a whole selection of them. Well, it's really spiked during quarantine. I've seen a lot more people doing that now that they're like, listen, I'm selling nude photos of myself, not only on OnlyFans, but on Snapchat premiums, and
Yeah.
I don't see the point or the purpose.
Snapchat was actually first. OnlyFans was kind of invented as a way to like, because I don't think Snapchat itself really condoned that. So OnlyFans was just like, hey, you want to be a whore? Here's the Be a Whore app. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's
Snapchat
literally just
Premium is like that. Snapchat
yeah,
Premium is where you just it's made for nudity and
true.
people get money from it. I just don't see
It
the
makes
point to it.
it makes me think of like that old like those old like iPhone commercials where it's like I want to be a whore, but I don't know how to be a whore from the comfort of my own home. And then Steve Jobs just comes in like, there's an app for that.
And then he neglects his daughter. And it's like that's
Yeah,
the
and then
weird
he
part of the
neglects his
commercial.
daughter, and he abuses those Chinese slaves in the Apple factories and forces them to make an iPhone that could support
And
OnlyFans.
he doesn't get the medicine for his cancer diagnosis.
What
But
a fucking loser.
fuck Steve
But
Jobs. He's a
it's funny that you say because more people are definitely pushing that type of stuff now with the quarantine.
yeah.
Like I was telling all of you guys over the video or the audio chat, I think, and I told you several. Like I had this girl who like I met her at a bar that I was doing a show at. And like all my friends were like, "Oh, you should hook up with her." And then like a couple people actually tried to set me up with her to hook up, but I was just way too fucked up. I couldn't spit any game. Not that I'm good at spitting game, but I was if I had even the slightest bit of skill, it was replaced with alcoholic slurs and gurgles.
Yeah,
But
and you're usually
sorry.
awkward as shit, so it's like it was
Yeah.
even worse than normal.
Yeah, it was like I was both awkward and I had like Similac disease or some shit.
Just
But
the slurring.
But anyway, so yeah, I didn't get to hit on this girl because I was too drunk. And then weeks later, the quarantine happens, and I'm sitting alone at home, bored. I see a message on Instagram, and it's from that girl, and it just says hello. And I was like super excited, and I was like, "Oh my god! Like, is this chick like messaging me? Like, does she remember me? Is she like into me?" And then I click into the message, and when I saw the whole thing, what it actually said was, "Hello, please subscribe to my OnlyFans for exclusive content." And then just a link, just literally just a link, like right here. And I'm like, oh man, like,
Well, it's a
I thought I
it's
didn't realize you were
weird.
just trying to sell me something.
It's always scheming. There's always a fucking scheme now with like these dating apps. I was on this app called HUD, and it's basically just crud. I know that's some expert comedy right there. But
Right, you really are sounding like an old school radio DJ. You're
it's
like,
HUD, but it's crud.
these broads are always scheming. What is it with women? Why can't they
What is
just
it
let
with
us
these
men have
women?
it?
No, but it's not just it's just always it's not women that are doing this. It's men pretending to like catfishing people.
True.
They'll be like, "Hey, you want to hook up? Send me some money." And what the fuck are you talking about? No.
I've had like I've heard of like you've obviously heard of the whole thing where like somebody like matches with someone on Tinder and they agree to meet up and then they get like robbed.
Yeah, it's always a scheme. I hate these dating apps. There's always like a catch to it, and you never know if the person's legitimate. Well, actually, most of the time you know because the way they talk sounds like a Russian bot. They're like, "I like to make hookup with you," and it's like, dude, come on. If you're gonna like pretend to be somebody, at least be more realistic with it, and not
Jack is like
just
the
make it so obvious that you're not a real person.
Jack, you're like the living incarnation of that Jeff Dunham puppet Walter. You're just like, oh, I hate these dating apps. Like, you
Well,
sound like a
I
grumpy old
think
man.
I think we're both sounding like Andy Rooney here going on,
Probably,
you
yeah.
know, just
But
ranting about young people. But the thing with this OnlyFans, so there's this like touch on this recently. It was kind of a month old story, but there's this YouTuber, I think his name is iDubbbz, and he had this he has this girlfriend who turned out to have an OnlyFans page where she sells naked photos of herself, and so people were like kind of ripping on him because he had a, and then he went on and was like defending his
mm,
girlfriend and saying that it's people that buy OnlyFans are actually noble people because they're
oh
supporting sex workers and instead
god.
of like watching free pornography where it exploits people. I'm like, listen, if you want to pay money because like somebody will feel like hotter to whatever, like that's one, you do whatever you want, but don't
Yeah,
act like you're some sort of hero and some sort
right.
of like noble like crusader for buying naked photos of people. Like that's the
And it's like,
strangest
yeah,
logic ever.
it's like you're not supporting, like, okay, you're supporting the idea of freedom of like to sell sex, but you're not supporting the sex workers who are still like slaves in foreign countries who are getting
Yeah.
beaten by masters by promoting that you can fucking send pictures of your feet to 13-year-olds on OnlyFans as long as they kick you like $25. Like,
Yeah, you're not
you're not
supporting.
fucking you're not supporting anybody who's actually in need. You're supporting an ideal, which is fine, but don't act like it's heroic. You're just supporting something you want to do. And like everything most people want to do, it's weird and disgusting. Like,
Well,
for example, I want to jerk off every single day and I only want to use one towel because I don't want to wash towels. It's just my thing. Does it make me a hero? Absolutely not. Does it make me a brave person? Certainly not.
I think you're
It's
pretty
my
brave
thing,
for
but
that.
yeah, I mean, I think it's brave.
Yeah.
I
Why?
was gonna say though, I think it's funny because before we were talking about like people getting tricked on like those dating apps or like OnlyFans or people getting robbed from like dating apps. I find it funny to think of like what if two people who are trying to rob someone both matched with each other on Tinder and they're just really chatting it up for each other. They're just like, "Oh yeah, you seem really hot. Send me a pic of your dick." And then he gets like a fake dick, and it's like, "You like my dick, baby?" And then she's like, "Yeah, here's my tits," and it's like a fake picture of tits, and they just really convince each other
And then they're like,
until they actually
if you
meet
don't
up.
send me money, we're gonna send these pictures of your fake genitals to people. And it's like,
Yeah.
wait, are you
Wait a
threatening
minute.
me? I thought I was threatening you. It's like that meme
Yeah.
with the two Spider-Mans like pointing at each other.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what it's like.
Are
It's
you
just like,
seeing
wait,
me?
was I robbing you? Who was robbing who? Are we
Yeah,
both trying to rob somebody?
it becomes like an Abbott and Costello routine. I don't.
Yeah, right.
It's just like this shittiest thing you could do because
It just
people.
seems like you know what it reminds me of? It's almost like this joke I used to like people used to say where it's like, what if two pedophiles tricked each other into thinking they were both kids on like a chat room and then met up at like the mall and they're like, wait a minute, tennis ball 69?
And then
Little legs 22? No way! Like, no way, dude! Like, you were trying to fuck that kid. Like, I was trying to fuck you. I thought you were a kid. Like, no way!
and they're like that's how a lifelong friendship is set up. Is
And
like,
they just get a drink after that.
hey man, you want to hang out sometime? Sure, man. I'll show you my what methods and
And they
everything.
just stop molesting kids and then they just fuck each other.
Yeah, and
Or
then
they team up
that's
and
how you
molest
cure
more
pedophilia. Yeah,
people. Yeah. It's like the fucking.
I mean,
It's like what's that song? That SpongeBob song with Friend, where it's like a friend is a friend till the very end, and it's just like two pedophiles.
pedophiles sing that together.
They're combing like the three hairs left on each other's balding heads.
Well, speaking of pedophiles, speaking, there's also people that will. I mean, this is actually pretty noble, I guess. I don't say noble. I've even used that word a bunch. But not like people. Some people will pretend to be like little kids to lure pedophiles and like do the whole to catch a predator shit
Yeah,
because that
yeah.
started a whole culture of people
Our
that
good,
just do that for fun. And it's
it's
weird.
our good friend Andrew Bergen told us about that. There's actually a YouTube channel called what the fuck was it called? It was like,
That's what it was
I
called.
don't know, but it's literally, I can't remember. It's literally like on the tip of my tongue. Maybe I can like text him. But it's literally like a YouTube channel dedicated to a guy who pretends to be a little kid so that he can lure pedophiles to like public places and then meet up with them and essentially just humiliate them. Just like, like you were trying to fuck a kid, but I'm the kid.
Yeah,
But
it's
then
like
they're
they
not
don't
like,
even call the cops. They just
yeah, they're not
film.
cops at all. They just like yell at them and they're like, "You want to fuck a kid, loser?" And then they just like have to run out of the Denny's.
I saw one of those videos, and he's like,
Pop Squad. It's called Pop Squad. That's what
"Pop
it's called.
Squad."
Yeah, Andrew. I don't want to riff on it too much because I know Andrew talks about it a lot in
I
his
don't wanna
act.
tread on his territory.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to step on his toes there. We
Speaking
got you,
of
Bergie.
speaking
Got
of how much I love to play with my yo-yo,
you. Speaking of which, I was looking to become a yo-yo prodigy very soon.
yo champion, I love Bergen. He's our.
Yeah, good guy.
We've really like just said some horrible shit today. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. This is what I wanted our podcast to be all about. Just
Yeah.
saying horrible shit that comes to mind whenever.
Well, what's funny is that my uncle like was telling me that he listened to my podcast and he liked it.
Your
Like,
uncle? Oh my
I was like,
god!
really? Like that's surprising because we say some really fucked up shit on there.
Yeah,
Then
right. Like,
then my mom was like, "I want to listen to your podcast." I'm like, "Fuck, all right."
yeah, right.
And then I
Oh my.
can't be like, "No, you can't listen to it." So I sent it to her, and this is what
Oh.
she said to me. She was like, "It's good, but you guys spend way too much time talking about sucking dicks." I'm like, that's an honest critique. I'm like, "Yeah, all right, fair enough."
Well, you know what? If that's the review that we're gonna get from your mom, then at least she didn't hate it.
Yeah, she was like, "It was funny, just trim down the dick sucking commentary a little
Well,
bit."
I'm just like, just a little less blowjob talk. That's
A
all
lit
I'm asking. Just a little less blow, just a teeny bit less.
Yeah, my dad was like, "Yeah, you're talking about, like, black dicks versus white dicks?" It's like, why are you guys
Did
so
we?
fixated on dicks?" I'm like,
Did we talk about black dicks versus
"We're
white dicks?
talking
Did
about,
we
like, what
compare
if
that?
Dimitri Martin had a big black dick?"
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Why are you guys so obsessed with sucking dick?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man, it just came to mind." Fucking
That- See, if my dad said that to me, I would have just been like, "Well, you know, like father, like son. You raised me. What the fuck do you expect, Dad?"
the balls don't fall far from the dick, you know?
Exactly. The balls don't fall far from the dick.
Uh,
Honestly, I'm glad because of this conversation. I'm very glad that my parents are at least like aware of who I am enough not to want to listen to our
yeah.
podcast.
I feel like I present myself very differently and with I mean, people always act differently around different people, but I feel like my family, they saw this and they're like, "Wow, that was funny." But I was surprised because I thought like this is only for a very specific type of person, like
I mean,
but
yeah,
I'm glad it has mass appeal. I think we're doing a good job. Let's continue to jack ourselves off. Speaking of
yeah, I'm
dicks,
down. Like
see,
more dicks,
it's just like a
more dicks,
hat.
more dicks, more dicks. That's just
Um,
going to. This is just going to be called the. This is just going to be called the Dick Cast.
the dick cast.
Everything we talk about is dicks.
We should get fucking
Uh,
Seth Rogen on here. 'Cause
yeah, right.
that's all they talk about in their movies, and I
Oh my god.
now he's all right. I like Seth Rogen.
Nah, Seth Rogen's good. He
Fun.
has better like he's not my favorite actor or comedian, but he has good movies.
No, he does, and he seems like a pretty chill guy, to be honest. Like I would have
Yeah.
Seth Rogen on this podcast.
Yeah,
He
right?
he's like no, his movies are really funny. Um, some
It's
of
like,
them.
yeah, I would have Seth Rogen. I'll just hit him up.
Yeah, I'll have
Call him.
exactly. I'm gonna call him right now and see if he wants
Yeah.
to be on this podcast.
He's a
Who do you
bro.
think
Like
is
I'm
the
sure he'd be down.
biggest? Who do you think is the biggest name we could realistically get within the year to be on this podcast?
Like if we really tried, like
Yeah,
I don't even know. Probably nobody actually big for now. Like honestly, the biggest name we could probably get is like fucking Tony Landolfi or some shit.
I bet. Yeah,
No,
exactly.
no offense to Tony. He's a great guy and a good comic.
We just
But
called him a pretty big name, so I mean that's kind of a compliment in a way, you know.
I mean,
Uh,
he's certainly like a bigger name than
us.
us.
Yeah,
Like
we're
he's
nobody.
been around for longer.
We're nothing. Um,
You're weak. You guys are nothing but minuscule specks on the grand scale of comedy.
I bet we could get Obama on this podcast. Like
Let's get
he did,
Bernie.
he did like Mark Maron's podcast, and you know,
Hillary Clinton did Between Two Ferns with
yeah,
Zach Galifianakis.
and she did Howard Stern too. You
Yeah.
know, that's a new age now. Is like all these like really big name politicians are like going on these on like radio shows. Like that didn't used to be a thing
I
that
would
happened.
I would want to get I would literally want to get Mitch McConnell for our podcast.
Yes.
But the only reason is because I'd want to do it if we could be in the same room with him, just so that the whole podcast while he's trying to talk, I could like jiggle his neck fat.
Yeah.
I
And
just
I
like
just want
poke
to
at
ask
it like
him.
that.
I just want to be like the guy from Master of Disguise and be like, Mitch, are you not turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
Yeah, Mitch, you're not. You don't seem turtly enough for the Turtle Club, Mitch.
Dude, that
And
guy.
he just his head just like recedes into his like suit collar. He's like,
Well, what I think is that's what the dog.
what I think. Yeah, what does he even sound like? I don't
Yeah,
even know. What
he
sounds like.
sounds like remember in the Looney Tunes that like dog with the droopy face? He kind of sounds
Oh,
like that guy a little bit if you listen to
so wait, in the Looney Tunes?
Remember there was that Looney Tunes of the dog that was like, "Well, I don't think so." And he had
Do
like
you
a
mean like? Do you mean Goofy from Disney?
no, it was like a droopy faced dog.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
so? I don't think that's true.
Yeah,
That
that
guy?
guy. Yeah, he sounds like that
Oh,
guy in real
yeah.
life.
Oh, yeah. True. That's a good way to put it.
That guy was the original that dog was the original beta male. That
It's just like Mitch, what do you think about Trump's response to the coronavirus? Well, I just think that he's doing the best he can and he's trying really hard.
That's actually a really good impression. You should,
So, my name is Mitch McConnell, and I just think that the impeachment trial halted the president's response to the coronavirus.
Mouse order. Um,
All right,
uh,
we got to wrap this up. We're
yeah,
at 30 minutes
we're at
in.
30 minutes.
Any closing remarks, Jackie boy?
I guess our closing remarks is that for the next week, we're going to make social media pages. And
Yeah,
if you guys want us to talk about anything specific or have any critiques or observations, feel free to tell us and we'll feel free to ignore you. And I
absolutely.
look
And
forward, to not taking your advice and just let us
we
know
will
what you
not
think.
we will not respond to you because you are nothing but heathens to us.
You are the listeners, so sit down and
Yes.
listen, you plebes.
Sit down and be our bitches.
You nothing.
And also, on another announcement, we are currently we are in working now. Maybe by the time this is even released, it'll already be. But we're working now on starting to put out these podcasts under the YouTube page we have, but also under the Big Chuckles Production
Ah,
Network.
yes.
So once we get that squared away with our good friend Renee Fuentes,
Yeah,
this should
that is
all be
Big
set to
Chuckles.
go, and we'll be putting out content on their page as well as content on our own pages. And you could always check in, and we'll always be here to give you the good old ultra violence.
Yeah, and go and who do we mention? Yeah, go support Renee Fuentes.
Yes,
Who else
yeah.
do we mention? Manny Cruz, Andrew Bergen, all the comedians we talked
Nick
about today. They're
Nick
funny people.
Pardo, Zach Zorovich, Rahul Andrade,
Evan Bramble,
Devin Bramble,
Tom Lamarca, Abe
Abe
Hannigan,
Hannigan, Andrew Bergen, who we mentioned. Who else?
Tony
And
Landolfi. We already mentioned him.
yeah, Tony, we mentioned.
That's a nice guy.
Brandon Lackaruba, also a good friend. Um,
John
fucking
Moskowitz.
John, yeah, John Moskowitz. No, I'll give a shout out to
Yeah.
John. What up, John? It's been a while.
Yeah.
Any more shout outs you want to drop in there?
We'll do it some other time. We have
Yeah.
there's like a million
Next
people we could
episode,
shout out.
if you didn't get a shout out, you'll get one. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with Jack and I over here.
Have a great week and
This
see
is
you next Thursday.
Podcast Orange signing off.
Big Chuckles.